Well, so we are a very unique institution in that terms. We are the first self-regulatory organization which is set up globally in the gold sector. The purpose of this SRO is essentially to offer the consumers a choice which actually empowers them in making, when they are buying gold, make a right choice, patronize the right kind of business. So the idea here is to promote a clean network of businesses who practice integrity, who practice good ethics. So that's the SRO that we represent. And the idea here is that, in the Indian gold entities which are there doing business in India, we promote good compliance, good practices, good integrity, which elicits trust from the consumers. What we are seeing right now are changing times. If you look at what has happened in the last year and a half and two, the gold prices is almost doubled, are more than doubled if you look at it in that way. So the way, and there is a new generation of consumers which is coming to the gold sector. Now what we want to do is to retain those consumers in the gold sector and also bring in the new consumers. So if you look at how gold is consumed today in the market, so one of course is the market which is for jewellery, where people want to buy jewellery for their uses. And the second part, since the gold has given very decent returns in the recent past, people are now looking at gold where they can park in their money for future investments as such. So to bring in the new consumers, it's important for us that we are offering to the consumers in India a choice where it's not only the purity of the metal, but also the integrity of the businesses that they are dealing with is put on the table. What has changed, if you really ask me? Prices have changed. The way the consumers look at gold has changed. It's not only looking at buying jewellery on a certain occasion, they're also looking at buying gold across different occasions, including investments. And even if you look at investments, the way people invest in gold is changing. It's not only like, buying bullion, it's actually buying, ETFs or looking at other ways to, invest in gold, which has changed. So yes, and the new consumer who's coming is also asking very valid questions about the sourcing of metal, where this metal is being sourced, is it sourced in the right way, So these are the new generation consumers, the new Gen Z that you talk about, and they are asking many questions which are very relevant today. So the idea here is that we as an institution foresee those questions which are coming from the market and create an industry, work with an industry, rather take industry to a level where the industry is able to answer those questions in a more confident manner. I think it's a wonderful question to ask. We were actually announced as an initiative in the year 2024, towards the end of 2024. We started operations, earlier this year, actually from August 2025, we started operations, started offering accreditations. And I think what makes us look positive about this entire initiative is the response that we are getting from the market. Whoever that we have spoken to, be it the government, be it the regulators, be it the industry players, and when I'm talking about industry players and the kind of work that we are doing, we are actually speaking to the entire value chain of gold in India. So it's not only the retailers, though they are the consumer facing entities in the gold value chain in India, but we are talking about the entire gold value chain, which is starting from refining, we are talking about bullion trading, we are talking about hallmarking, we are talking about manufacturing, retailing, as well as digital retailing. So what we are trying to give here and what we are trying to offer is this entire chain of business entities which are there with open and transparent practices, and the way these entities have come forward and expressed a desire and a need to move forward. See, it's one matter to follow a code of conduct which we have come out with, and the idea here is that by following those code of conduct, the industry becomes more compliant. The industry becoming more compliant essentially would happen when the industry becomes more transparent, right? And if the industry becomes more transparent, there would be a trust which the consumer will feel towards this. So as I said earlier, we have a young consumer which has come to the market. The questions that they are asking are very valid. Gold has become not only is an occasional buy for uses, but also as an investment. So if you look at it in the entire comprehensive 360-degree way, what is most encouraging for us is the response that we are getting from the industry, and they believe that we are an institution which will help gold as a category to grow. We bring in young consumers to the market, and the young consumer, when they come to the market, they will come to the market with an open mind where they feel more trust, which will help us grow this market further. So I would believe that the industry is really coming forward. Industry is really seeing value in what we are doing, and we just see this moving forward. We are offering accreditation. We are in the business of offering accreditations based on a code of conduct through a third party audit, right? So we have already a list of companies which are accredited by us. I think I've answered this, but anyway, so what IAGES has done is to create a code of conduct, right, which captures how a business should be operated in a clean, ethical manner, which follows integrity. So the message that we have for industry and also for the consumer is that when you are talking about purity of the metal, there is hallmark BIS, which is the standard that you look at when you are buying metal. The IAGES accreditation will basically be a test or a mark which will ensure that the businesses that you are patronizing for your gold buy follows honest, transparent practices, and which is very, very important. Because what we believe is that this is core of the gold business. Now, we have to agree that gold business in India is highly unorganized today, while the sector is getting organized by the day, right? If there are estimated there are almost 600,000 entities which are operating in India across the gold value chain. So there is a diversity of businesses in the gold sector which are there to serve the consumer. Our effort here is to work with the industry in a very, very participative manner and see to it that collectively we offer Indian consumers a marketplace which gives them confidence, which gives them a peace of mind. The point of anxiety while doing a transaction comes down, so that the consumer can come and invest into the gold market. If you look at how standards can help jewelry business or other businesses, and I won't restrict myself, commenting on this only to the jewelry business. It's important for any businesses which exist for that matter. So following standards not only mean that you are becoming compliant in a manner, following standards also mean that you remain competitive. If you look at gold sector, for example, or look at any other sector, businesses are growing very, very competitive. There are traditional players, there are new players, and there are, of course, corporate players who are coming into an unorganized sector, which sometimes the unorganized sector feel threatened towards. Standardization becomes very important in that part. If you are an unorganized player not following standardized practices, you will feel that the consumer preference is moving away from you, right? So I think it's very important, number one, for maintaining your own sustainability and to last long in business, so that businesses move from generation one to generation next. It's important that standardization in the businesses do come in, higher compliance do come in. So that's the most important part. And the second part is, if you look at it from the consumer perspective, consumer doesn't want to be confused, right? So consumer doesn't want to be confused. Consumer wants to be very clear when he is making a purchase, and gold buying is not a purchase that the consumer is doing every day. It's an occasional purchase. It's a purchase with a purpose, and all these purchases only happen when somebody has got enough money in the pocket. Now, once there is enough money in the pocket, the apprehension that the individual has while spending that money is much higher. So that's what the industry needs to offer to a consumer. Apprehension should go away, and standardization would help that. So what we have done recently is that we have launched a campaign called Pehla Check IAGES. The idea behind the campaign is that if you are a consumer who is going to the gold market, who is going out to buy gold, you should check on IAGES accreditation. What we have done so far is that there are retailers that we have, and there are manufacturers as well today. We have gone out and done those accreditations. These accreditations are given by IAGES on the basis of a third party audit. Our accreditations are not done on the basis that you are my friend and I am your friend and you give me your papers and I accept those papers and you become accredited. Our accreditation only happens if there is a third party audit or assessment which happens across those criteria that we have defined in our code of conduct. So once an entity is assessed and accredited by us, they get to display IAGES accreditation certificate on their stores. That's what we have done. What we are asking the consumer today is that when you are buying gold, you should ask your retailer whether he is IAGES accredited. That's why we are saying Pahla check IAGES. And to enable that, what we are actually going for one step further, we are encouraging consumers to come to our website, which is www.iages.com, see the nearest store, which is IAGES accredited store, where he lives. I'm happy to say today we have almost 60 plus stores across, now initially when we launched, our focus was Mumbai and Maharashtra. Now we are actually expanding nationally, and our target is by end of this financial year, we should be offering the Indian consumers at least 300 plus stores where he can go and buy gold with a peace of mind. So Pehla Check IAGES is just a campaign driven to the consumer, giving them a sense of empowerment that okay, there is an entity in the gold sector which has come up, there is a self-regulatory organization which has come up, which is doing the job that probably your parents used to do earlier when they had a retailer who was patronized by your parents and grandparents on the basis of trust. All right. So what we are saying, just to expand it further, that if you look at the entities which are selling gold today, they sold basis on trust. What IAGES is doing, that we are institutionalizing that trust. We are basically validating and institutionalizing that trust and offering them the accreditations, so that even if you don't know somebody or if there is no reference of your grandparents or parents available, you can actually trust IAGES accreditation and go and make a buy. One, enlightened consumer who is asking the right questions and getting the right answers. I think that's a very important thing, because at the end of the day, we want the gold as a category of buy to expand, and we believe that will only happen if a consumer starts trusting the gold value chain more. So the industry should expect that there would be an enlightened consumer, and we are going to use all our marketing muscle to ensure and do that. So my message to the industry would be, expect a little changed consumer behavior when they are coming out to buy gold. So that's one. What should further we should expect is a very large portfolio of IAGES accredited entities in this business. And I must say, I explained to you earlier that we are offering our accreditations across the gold value chain, from refiners to retailers. We are seeing that those entities are coming forward, and we are now offering a network which is a verified network, and we see a lot of business opportunity in this network itself. So there are retailers who know that there is a manufacturer who has gone through this accreditation, who has stood up for this third party assessment, who follows good practices. Right? A manufacturer can see that there is a bullion trader or refiner who has gone through this. So while he will know from the market about the practices of this particular entity, but there is of course a IAGES validation as well, which will make the job of this entire value chain much easier. So yes, a consumer who is more enlightened, and a trade who actually believes in IAGES accreditation. This is what the changes we would expect in 2026. For us, the success again would be the consumer, and an empowered consumer is our success. I would say that we are a very unique institution, and as I said, this is globally the first institution which has been set up in the gold sector. Our sole objective is an empowered consumer at the end of the day. So success for us would be an empowered consumer walking into a store, asking the right questions before buying gold. That would be the success. The more cases like this that we hear, and I must admit that after we have started our Pehla Check IAGES campaign, there has been a huge traction. We are getting almost 1,500 to 2,000 hits on our website every day. Our social media handles has been getting lot of messages. So I must say that we have started on a wonderful journey. We are seeing the responses which are coming to us, and I must say that going forward, 2 years from now, we would see this only getting intensified. I'm very thankful you asked me this question. So if you look at how IAGES has been constituted, it started as an initiative of the World Gold Council, right? So we were set up by World Gold Council initially. So when I talked about the history in August 2024, when we were announced, we were a World Gold Council initiative. What happened in August 2025 is that we became an independent industry initiative. So World Gold Council continues to be on our board, continues to fund our initiative, gives us strategic guidance. But our board is completely driven by the industry bodies which are there in the gold sector. So in terms of our governance, the way we are looking at it, and I'm happy to explain this in detail, we have got today on our board bodies like GJC, IPJA, GJEPC is also coming on board. So the president and chairmen of these respective bodies are on our board, right? And of course we have independent directors who are also there on our board. So idea here is that we are not driving something which is far and distant. We are driving something which is in consultation with the industry, and we are an industry initiative. As a self-regulatory organization, I want to be very clear to our stakeholders that we are not operating in a vacuum. We are an industry initiative, and our shareholders, which are GJC, IPJA, and coming forward GJEPC as well, they are the ones who are driving this entire conversation forward, entire industry initiative forward. So we are working in very close collaboration, and this is a strategic initiative that the industry collectively feels that we are obligated to offer it to the Indian consumers. Again, a very wonderful question. I would say, for us to retain our credibility, and we believe that as a self-regulatory organization, we have to practice the highest level of governance. So as I said earlier, we are Section 8 not-for-profit company. We are not here to make profits. None of us are the shareholders of IAGES, so there is no ESOP or money which is coming to the pockets of IAGES employees as such. We are Section 8 company. We hold our governance at the highest level. I explained about my board earlier. The idea here is that, as a self-regulatory organization, we need to practice certain level of integrity first before we preach others. So the way we have developed our code of conduct, the way we are currently offering our accreditations, and I must admit that when we are offering accreditations, there are a lot of entities which are coming forward who want accreditation, but we can't offer them because their practices are not to that level. So what happens, they go on a pause, they come back and they get those accreditations. So there are conversations which happen that let it go, all right? Letting it go would basically means that we are creating a reputational hazard which we cannot offer to the market, cannot offer to the consumer. So as I said earlier, our primary responsibility and objective is to serve the Indian consumers, and for that we will maintain the highest level of integrity, highest level of governance to do that. So we are very watertight as far as the governance norms are concerned. We are a completely professional entity, as I called you. As I explained to you earlier, we are all professionals who have come together with a purpose that we need to offer Indian consumers a choice. We are quite motivated by the purpose of the organization. We are a young team, and what we are trying to do in guidance to our board, which I explained to our industry bodies, is to be the differentiator in the Indian gold market and expand this gold business as such. I think the only message that I have is come forward, adopt IAGES. This is good for you, good for your business. I understand and we fully understand the kind of challenges that the business is facing today. This is just not one additional accreditation or compliance that you need to do. This is something which is important for your own business. We will help you get more customers. We will connect with the consumers. We will also become a network which provides business opportunity for you. We will also become a network which provides advisory and capacity development for you. So my message and my request to the industry is, come forward, join IAGES. Joining IAGES will not be so easy. You have to follow certain practices to be a member of IAGES, and following those practices will only strengthen your business, will only ensure that you are more ready for competition, you are more ready for the new consumers who are coming into the market. So my honest appeal to all the retailers and all the businesses which are there in the gold sector is to adopt IAGES, because what we are offering to the industry is something which is futuristic, which is going to safeguard their own interests. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience. Really enjoyed this conversation, and we look forward to speaking to you again. There are more exciting updates that we are coming out with. There will be new initiatives that IAGES will be coming out with, and we will be happy to share with you when we are ready. Thank you.